My first ever Blizzard drama as a player who's interested in one of their games happened yesterday, where they announced there's gonna be a race in Diablo 4 to level 100 on the hardcore version of the game. Today I wanted to also pitch in with my 2 cents on the topic and the uproar of the community that has been surrounding this issue, because I come from a different background. These kinds of things don't really happen like that. For a bit of context, some content creators and some influencers have had access for the past 10 days or so to the full version of Diablo 4, and because of that they have been just no lifing it, and obviously they know a lot more than most other players that will maybe want to take part in this race do. Also, for Diablo 4 there's a pre-order available that gives you a few days of early access, and this race takes place starting with minute 1 of the early access time. And lastly, the prize for this race is your name inscribed on a statue, which I believe to be a physical statue, a real life statue that they're going to have displayed at the next BlizzCon, I think in November. Now, here's my thoughts on each of these little nuances of the problem. First of all, I'm very happy that there is a race being held officially by Blizzard. I don't really think that they've put a lot of thought into caring about every single member of the community before releasing this race, because the moment the race starts, when you pre-order a pack, pay extra and have a few days of head start, that already sort of divides the community that you want to take part in the race to only those people who are maybe true fans of Diablo 4, or people who have pre-ordered for one or another reason the more expensive versions of the game. In my opinion, the best time to start such a race for a fresh game, highly anticipated game, is June 6th, which is the time where everyone that has purchased any copy of Diablo 4 will be able to jump in game and play. This would still give a little bit of an advantage to players who pre-ordered and played the early access, because they would have gone through the game up until whatever high level they can get to and know more on June 6th as to how to tackle their adventures than the people who come on June 6th, and that's when they begin. And so it's a bit of an extra motivation still to pre-order, which is, I think, one of Blizzard's maybe ideas, that, we can have a bit of extra incentive to get the early access. People would still get the early access to learn more and to get through the game. And then on June 6th, that's when fresh characters start, and that's when you can potentially do this race with everyone involved, some with a bit more advantage, some content creators with much more advantage, and some new players just starting baseline. Speaking of content creators, by the time June 6 comes about, those guys and girls who had access to the full version of Diablo 4 very recently, they would have had all their guides out on YouTube, and people would have a lot of time to browse and absorb their knowledge that they have acquired in this full game review. And the content creators that have taken part, many of them are not gonna on purpose take part in this race. They're not gonna send their proof to Blizzard so that they can have their name on the statue, because many of them actually feel that they do have an unfair advantage. There's 1,000 spots also in the competition. The people that have discovered Diablo 4 and maybe 5 of their friends, which they will tell everything to, that's like what, 100, 200 people. The other 800, let's say, if that's the case, are open spots for everyone else, like you or me, to maybe take a chance and participate in this. Another thing I wanted to tackle is the sort of the idea that Blizzard is doing this strictly for money so that they can sell more early access copies. I think that's a little bit far-fetched, even though there could be some truth in it. It's a little bit hard to believe. The race is only on the hardcore mode of the game, which is not the most popular mode. And on top of that, the people who wanna play hardcore, they have already pre-ordered the game with early access anyway. Not because they want to start soon, but because they're extremely eager to get into their favorite ARPG and start blasting, right? If they would have done this on softcore or provide you with like an in-game title for the first 1,000 people who finish it on softcore, that would have been completely different story. However, I don't really think that it's the money in selling early access copies is the actual main reason here. I'm actually worried for the person who needs to review thousands of applications for when people are gonna get to level 100, because they basically want you to tweet to them Diablo 4 hardcore with proof that you've completed it. I really don't know if this is just a like a PR stunt where they just want more tweets to them or another reason to tweet to them. But they should have a system in game which just they can just sort who is level 100 today, who is level 100 tomorrow, and just arrange them by date. I think that's the way, because there can be so many Photoshop things or so many things that you can just like bad pictures, blurry stuff. Who has time in Blizzard to just hit here through thousands of tweets and then just analyze every picture? A lot of things around this were slightly bizarre, but the idea itself, I really loved the fact that they want to do something like this, or they have the incentive to push people to sort of compete. Most likely it's going to be a chaos, but I guess we're going to have to see what comes out of it. Plus, there's a million other things that can, and most likely some of them will go wrong, such as server queues. You start this race minute one, where granted you've tested your server stability in the server slam, but queues might be absolutely gigantic. Not to mention the time zone of release, which is for US people, it's 7 p.m. or around that time, based on where you are, of course. And then for Europeans, it's 1 or, for in my case, 2 a.m. Of course, we should have all taken, free time from work, free time from girlfriend, boyfriend, kids, everything just to play Diablo. I get that, of course. It's the hype of a new release. But I'm just saying, if you really think about it, there's a million things that can go wrong. But something to create the hype at the beginning is also very nice. And I guess we'll see how it goes. This was my first controversy as a player who's interested in a Blizzard game. According to your feedback in the comments of my videos, there's going to be plenty more of it. So we're looking forward to discussing everything that comes our way. There was also that interview where some people were saying they faked their questions. Yeah, that was just the funniest thing ever. Oh boy, I already don't understand why some things are happening, but maybe I'm gonna get it later down the road. I wish you a great day wherever you are. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below, and I'm gonna see you really soon. Take care.